So what we're going to talk about is what you need to know right now. This is a lot about planetary changes to the human collective consciousness. This is what all of the galactic teams and all of the angels and all of the energies that are supporting this awakening is ushering us even further into authenticity. And we know that a lot of you have made this transition into this more harmony. We call it the holistic perspective, but we know that many of you have reached much greater levels of harmony currently, and the old doesn't cut it anymore. That's because the old is sort of like, it's a whole thought system. You start to see that this is actually a really important video for people. It's a really, really, really important to really get this. We know that so many of you have made this transition in energy form. You might not be consciously aware of it yet, or maybe you are, or maybe you have some sense. We just want you to know that you don't have to go back. You don't have to cater to the dualistic perspective anymore, and those friends and those partners and all of those things. There is a new way that we can do all of this, which is the holistic perspective. It is a completely different perspective. It is like going from Windows to operating a Macintosh type of thing. Like it's a whole thing. It's not something that is done in like one ayahuasca ceremony, let's say, you know. Like there are many misconceptions during people's awakening journey that showed itself later, you know. And so right now what Gaia is asking us all to do is to strengthen this new frequency. And we call that the holistic perspective. Maybe you just have a feeling for that. We are asked to strengthen our commitment to the light that is in everything. And that means that we don't have to judge the old, but we can simply I'm just tired, you know, like we're done with you. Dualistic energies, we're done with you. And that goes for with people too. If someone is having emotions going on in your, let's say, family unit, you don't have to get to your own conclusions. You can just go, the truth of this situation, there's a little interesting energy here. Okay, let me just, I don't know what this is, but it's not mine. You know, those types of things. It doesn't mean you have to dismiss, judge. It's just observation. You can observe what's happening in frequency. But if you make up stories, this person this person that, then it's just gonna create chaos. Like that's not how you create harmony. That's how you create chaos. And we know you know this. But many people don't still. And that's why it requires us that are actually following this light truly in action, that we come together. Because this is how we create community. By coming together so that we can enhance this light. You know what I'm talking about. This is the light that is inside of you. It is not in something out there. That's what's so much confusion about that. Because the spiritual teachers, their ego can easily slip through and just start to introduce their own agenda. That is the consciousness that is operating the body and that level of awareness, even if they have channeled wonderful things. And so it's important that we recognize that, so that we see the truth of all of these channelings, of all of these tarot card readers and everything that's going on. Because you are asked to step into the next level. That's why you're feeling like nothing works anymore. Because we're meant to create it like this. We're meant to create it. If you feel called, please join us. We are here to share and to spread light truly here. And it happens like this. And it happens in a way, first you have to know the truth of what's going on. And if you're offended by that, then bless you. You have some rounds more to go. And that's okay. It's okay. But acknowledge the truth. The more you do, the more you're gonna love this way of being, because it's so freeing. Because you don't have to poke into other people's business, not even in frequency. You don't have to. You are here to live your life. You're here to anchor your light. And that is created in goodness. It's created in thinking positive on the world and everyone around it. Everyone around it. Everyone inside it too. Not just around it. And so we know it can be a little bit tricky sometimes to keep that momentum up. But and we get it, like we feel it too, you know? Like keeping that momentum up of just because we can get into places that we're just soaring in frequency. That it's just like one thought just leads to more channeling, more creativity, more. And the body just like, it just opens and it just wants more, and just like the juicy goodness of life. That's what's possible here in this holistic perspective. And so when beings are choosing other things around us, we're like, first of all, it's like we get a little bit disappointed, because it's like, what? But it's fun, you know, like, come on, it's over here. But we can't go down to other people's level. We can't go and pick someone up if they don't want to be picked up. That's really the main thing. Like, stop doing that, you know? And you're starting to get a hang of this. energy game, because once you see that it is only about seeing the truth of what's going on within yourself first, and if someone is courteous enough and knows and can see the truth from the outside, use it. It will propel your life so many years, lifetimes even. That's what these 28 days will do. They are calibrating back into your connection to truth, which is how you make something happen here. Why it's how you make your energy birth through your body. That's really it. Like, sexual desires can be seen as a leakage of energy. Sexual fixations or energy, just like craving, that is seeking on the outside. We are here to harmonize these things on the inside. And once we do, that's when this other reality sort of opens up to you. It is, you've all had a manifestation, like a parking spot. It's those things continuously. That's possible. And when something is continuous, it's predictable. It's very predictable. When you see and when you do exactly what's needed, and you know how these cycles work, and you know all of the intricacies of the reality that you're in, it's like we want to say, hey, welcome to New Earth. This is the manual. This time you get a manual. Last incarnation, when you came into the dualistic perspective, you didn't get a manual. This is the manual that you wish that you got. So it is about seeing the truth of what's happening. Because if you've twisted yourself into a lot of untruths and just ways of behaving that is in the head, you can't. It's like, it's just going to create havoc. That's it. The more you then train the mind to be in service to the body and to this natural flow, that's when your energy starts to manifest through your body in either just spontaneous healings and those types of things, which is a process too. But you have to be connected in order to self-heal. The positive and negative has to be connected. The masculine and the feminine has to be connected. The knower and the feeler has to be connected. Continuously. If you pretend over here and it's a disconnect, you're just pretending. Even how much you think that it's real and how many people are supporting you. It doesn't even matter. Because if you're creating distortions in your body, it's distortions. The ones that can feel, can feel. It's very simple. It's like reading a book. It's like reading a measurement device on like a speedometer, like a doctor has like these gadgets. For beings that are in touch with their body, it's like that. It's like you can try and fool truth, but you're just fooling yourself, and you're shutting yourself off from the very source that is sharing the truth. We know it's a process. And we know you've been through it. We certainly have. And we know that whoever comes to these realizations, seeing this, either just have a recognition directly from Gaia and the body, or they are having some kind of interesting experience. We have noticed that with many beings, but they don't know what it is, because their logical mind can't comprehend what more light is. And when you have developed enough momentum building your light, that means you don't excess your light, you build it. You don't waste it on sexual occurrences, but you use it to build and build and build your own energy. And you open up for more healing through your body. There are many things that you haven't been taught that is possible to do with your body, just with some training and some repetition. How you can open up to self-heal. There are very many interesting things that is possible, but all of them, the reason why some people will say that they don't exist, oh, that's just blah, 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 because they're disconnected, they don't see it. So now we know what the true thing is. And when you know, then you also know what the remedy is. The holistic perspective, to us, is the only thing that stand a chance to have some sort of sense in this environment. And that's what we are operating by, because that's what's producing that we can soar on the realities. That's why we want to be honest and open and share everything. And really be authentic in what you believe in. Make sure that you don't just believe what other people believe, but that you've actually done some comparison. You've lived some life. Okay, so I'm going to try this now. I've tried this thing over here, that didn't work. So let's try something else. That's how we change. We can't just keep doing the same thing, expecting different results. And this is the very reason why we do this every single day. Because just as relentless as the dualistic perspective with all of the indoctrination of movies and TV shows and all of the things of how you should react and how you should, which is just, it's just sort of like layered for people to swim in. And most people just don't get out of that. Eventually, always, everyone will. Because eventually the soul is just ready and tired of this dualistic perspective over and over again. When are we going to get the truth, humanity, type of thing? Some attitude coming through here. Not sure exactly. But it's not personal. It's just playful, playing with energy. And if that touched you, then it was for you. Work with that. This is how we can help each other, truly. Not to point out people's this and that, but that can be helpful if someone is open for that. So, we are very stubborn in what we have come to understand now. And we have started like wanting to connect with people, but we're seeing like people are just in this dualistic perspective still. Like we haven't seen anyone that's not in it. We were hoping, around us physically, where we are. But that's just the thing. That's why we are placed in these remote places. All of us light workers bringing in this frequency is because we're meant to bring that. We are meant to be the light in our community. And you can feel the resonance if this is for you. If we are talking to you. Because this is, that you're here and that you've done the work, and you can see and feel that things are not completely the same as what it ought to be, let's say. And you can feel this. Because the beings that can feel, feeling is a way of seeing, recognizing the truth of what's happening. You are the one that's meant to break that into your circle of friends or community in whatever way that fits for you. You don't have to do it like a spiritual guru. Like, it's just being more connected to like love. Like, how can we create a space where we just create love? And the only way is inside, because anytime that you lash out outside, you have missed the mark. This is what in these religious texts it's called to sin. It's just missing the mark. It just means that that's not it. That's not how you soar. That's not what that means. It just means that there is some disconnect and some configuration error in your operating system. As you are, maybe Windows and Mac is a bit... yeah, it is accurate, because you can't operate in one and be in the other. You can only be in one or the other, in the dualistic perspective or the holistic perspective. You either see the reality through this way or the holistic perspective. It's really just those two ways. And if you're just tagging along people, you're usually in the dualistic perspective, thinking maybe you're the nice guy or nice woman or girl or whatever, and you're just the spark of light, thinking that that's what it is to be light, and just letting people enjoy your light. It's, to me, we realize that it needs to be reciprocal. Like, we don't want to give if it's not returned anymore. Because we were just giving. That's what we did in the dualistic perspective. Give. Totally over giving. And this nice guy, didn't want to say anything to offend anyone. And we're so tired of those habitual. And we have practiced something different, but we can sort of feel them sort of when we are out and about. That's when we notice them, and that's what we're working on. We're working on harmonizing that in those situations. So we are working on anchoring our light in all kinds of areas. It's not just beaming light. No, it's telling the truth, being authentic, sharing from your heart. It's daring to ask someone out, say the thing that you're truly feeling, so that you're not just going by this programmatic operating system of the mind, which is not really where true pleasure lies. Your body knows all about that. Because your body is also very tired of this dualistic perspective, because it wants to connect with you. It wants that expansion too. And so, if you're here to expand your light, we would love to see you in one of these 28 days where we correct our perception just like we're doing now every single day, so that we see things from this holistic perspective. It's not like, oof, we have so much umph to this modality, because it's the only thing that truly works permanently. It is how we truly shift our life and everyone around us, is by truly operating as if we are living in a community again. Even if we are living in cardboard boxes, brick buildings or whatever, start to pretend that you truly care again. You know? That's the only way that we can truly get to this place that we are all feeling. We want connection. We want connection, but we don't want connection from this old craziness. That's what we've all broken free from. And so now it's about building a stable foundation that will actually give us what we all crave, which is connection from a real, true place of someone that actually cares. And if they don't care, it's better to say, no, I'm too busy. I don't want to deal with this right now. That's better to hear, because then you can at least go to someone else and you don't have to waste someone's time that doesn't really want to. It's better than pretending, isn't it? It's better than, oh yeah, haha, yeah, haha, isn't it? Am I the crazy one here? Please let me know if you think I'm the one. Well, I'm sure I'm crazy. We all have our ways. And that's something that you get to discover when you get to embody this frequency, because you get more in touch with who you are. And the more in touch with who you are, the more the beings around you support that expression, the more we are supporting each other. That's truly what is going to bake the scales here. Because that's how we make sure that we are looking after our brothers and sisters in truth. That means that we don't pretend to one another. That's like spitting in someone's face, really. It's not treating someone with respect, that's for sure. But we get that people don't know that, right? We get that. We get that it's not deliberate. People just don't know any better, you know? And that's why we can love them, and we can also identify where people are at. And then we know what we have to stretch in order to be in this holistic perspective. Because this can be felt from the body. And everyone can be a sort of a police in this form. Because you can't join the club unless you are aligned. And it's not a 1%, like it's just a frequency. It's just a frequency and a daring to be who you are. That's when your life opens up in much grander ways in this holistic perspective. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for sticking through this. Thank you for being here on Gaia, still figuring it out. We know that it can be frustrating. We are here to help, and we desire exactly the same thing as you: community, support of like-minded people. But for that, we need to know where we are meeting. Where is our meeting point? What is it that we are working for? What are we coming together for? We need to have that. There's no point going and creating a retreat unless you know why you're doing it. It is to come together. And if you are truly interested in coming together, enough with the retreats for profit and just the hype or being cool or social media likes and all of that. But let's truly come together in authenticity and practice that. Practice that with one another. And if someone is pretending, you're a good friend and you let them know. In many ways, it's a little bit similar to Simon Cowell. He's very straight and direct with the contestants. It's not because he's cruel, he's just seeing an energy. And he is speaking to the energy so that that being can recognize, and if they recognize, they are further embodied and they can come through in a much bigger way on stage. You don't need to be on stage in order to shine your light. You can do that wherever you are. Just make sure that you are paying attention to your body and what it truly needs and wants, and not that you have made habits of what you like and then you just keep repeating something that you don't even know if your body likes. So with that, we dare you to click the link and join our challenge where we ask you to dance and to really let that energy through. Let that energy through. Your freedom. It's time that we fully shine our light. If you're ready, let's go. And we'll talk to you again in the next one. Ciao.